I was feeling very tall today at 5'3".
Good morning and welcome back to the program. As is often the case when I'm fortunate enough to host the morning show, we just keep doing the show during the commercial and then we get ourselves together to do this formal thing that we're about to do now. I am excited to welcome these guests to the program because, as we talked a little bit at the outset of the show this morning, dyslexia is an incredible challenge. Words can't quite describe for those who live with the challenge, whether they be students, young people, or parents thereof. I'm excited about a conversation with the folks from PC Reads. Elissa Aten is the director of PC Reads, and we have with us also Bari Nan, Cohen, Rothchild, and Stacey Border. They are advocates for the group and, importantly, for their sufferers of dyslexia. Good morning, ladies. Welcome. It's great to see you all. The BNC is my homie, so I got to say welcome. It's so good to see you. And Elissa and Stacey, nice to meet both of you. Congratulations for Park City Community Foundation grant. And tell me a little bit about that. I, of course, am familiar with the Community Foundation, but maybe not so much the mechanics.
Sure. So we back in 2014, Jackie Blake and I, who founded PC Reads, both ended up becoming certified dyslexia advocates. And Jackie was moving away, and we realized we needed to figure out how to sustain this program because there were a lot of families we were serving and helping, and I wasn't going to be able to meet with all of them. So we applied for a Park City Community Foundation grant. That would have been 2 years ago, actually, to support the program. And so this is the second year that they have supported our advocate program. And the support they give us has enabled us last year to train 3 new advocates, this year to train 3 new advocates, of which Stacey and Bari Nan are 2 of them, and then some continuing professional development.
Fantastic stuff. I was thinking as I was reading a little bit and preparing this morning that we're fortunate we see so many people come through this studio who are doing good works for others, and how you are changed by your life experiences. Bari Nan and Stacey, talk about what it's like to live with dyslexia in the home when you're thinking, I have these beloved children of mine who are in only one time do they get to be children and have these incredible growing brains that it's so important to fill up as much as possible during the time of learning to read, learning how to learn. Talk about your experiences and about the passion that I'm sure that you bring to this project.
Well, my son brought home a spelling test in 2nd grade and handed it to me and said, I don't know why I can't spell these, they're easy words. And I said, what if it turned out that the parts of your brain that spell words don't do it the same way as other people's brains? And what if it turned out that you have other things that go on in your brain that are different and better than other people's brains? And he said, how do we find this out? So we went through neuropsych testing, and we found that he did in fact have dyslexia, and he was really glad to know that there was something it was called.
Relief.
He felt a little bit relieved, and that you know, Mom and Dad had found a way to get him some support for that and to figure out how he could learn to read in a different way. And it's for sure frustrating, and there are definitely times where he's looking at homework and going, you know, my brain doesn't do this, right? Because either it's a concept that is easy for people whose brains read typically, and it doesn't compute for the dyslexic brain, or he's tired and he just can't get there because it takes him so much more work in the day to perform at the level he's capable of than the kid next to him who doesn't have dyslexia. So, you know, I was fortunate. I was able, through my relationships at the school, to find out what resources were available. I was lucky to have PC Reads and know the people who were involved there and be able to ask them questions. And they run a wonderful group called Mind, which pairs older kids with dyslexia with younger kids with dyslexia and does social activities together. And so there's a whole lot of empowerment around it, which is really nice. But my feeling was, if I could do this for my child, and I've always been involved in the schools, and I've always been a champion of every kid, wouldn't this be a great thing to add to my toolkit?
Indeed.
Yeah.
So I have a very similar story. In fact, my child is the same age as Seth. Her name is Josie, and they're in 6th grade. In 2nd grade, we were going through this very frustrating, excuse me, I get a little emotional, process, in that we knew that there was something, we just didn't know what it was. And we were fortunate also to be in the Park City School District. They were helping us get on the right tracks, but there wasn't an advocacy program at that point. And so PC Reads was in its infancy, and I reached out to Elissa and Jackie, and they helped advocate for Josie as much as they could at the time, but I feel like we hit a lot of walls. And as Josie has progressed through the school system, PC Reads, like Bari Nan said, has been such a huge support to us. The MIND program, for me as a parent, and being able to become an advocate, to be there for other parents, is really a dream for me, because it's something I always wished that I had. I wished it was out there. And Elissa did her best, but she had me and every other parent who was saying, help, my child has just been diagnosed with dyslexia. And I feel so lucky that we have such a strong community program.
And the group dynamic of just saying, come on in. You're not alone. You're part of a community. Elissa, talk about how you all are paying it forward in terms of helping teachers continue their training. I know that's an important thing about garnering a grant, a continuing grant, in this case from the Community Foundation, but you're paying that forward so that teachers can be better, have a better classroom because of a more dynamic ability.
Right, and you know, we really have kind of divided our programs into something for the child, something, or family, something for the teachers, and something for the students. So Bari Nan spoke about the MIND group with the students. The Advocate program, which we probably should explain a little bit more so people understand what we do. But then we also have professional development grants. So we have a rolling grant process where educators who want to further their own education and knowledge about teaching reading, dyslexia, we had someone take one on multisensory math last year. They can apply throughout the year. They're small grants, but it's something. And you know, we're happy we're able to do that.
And talk about the Advocate program. Expand on that a little bit, if you would.
So, you know, it's overwhelming when you find out, when your child is struggling even before you know why they're struggling. And, you know, we've helped people that don't end up being dyslexic, you know, but their child is struggling to read. And, you know, there's a lot to learn. You have to understand the education laws that go with it, how to request properly support from the school, how to request if you want the school to do evaluation. Should you go outside and have a private evaluation done? What are the pros and cons of each? Then you go, you have your evaluation, and you get back this document that's very detailed and has scores and standard scores and, you know, percentiles, and how do you understand what those really mean? And so we sit down with the parents and we help them understand what the report means. And obviously the evaluator has usually done that too, but there's always questions when you step outside of the office. And then going into the schools and help try to match up that student's needs with the services that that particular school can offer. And sometimes it includes outside tutoring too.
And I'm imagining that part of the joy, but also challenge of membership in this group is that on one hand you go, the good news is we are not alone.
Right.
The bad news is, whoa, we are not alone. There is so much work to do. Talk about what it's like for all of you now, and what you're excited about going forward.
Does anyone else want to talk a little, or should I?
Well, I mean, I think one of the things that's really exciting is that there's been more movement in dyslexia awareness in the schools, in the community, among families in the last, I would say, 12 months than in the 4 years even preceding that. And I was speaking with an educator the other night, and she's you know, very experienced, and she said the development that has happened in this field in the last 5 years is mind-blowing. Wow. So that's really exciting. And Elissa can speak to some of the really cool things. I want you to brag on yourself because there have been some pretty cool things that have happened in the last couple of weeks.
So I think she's speaking about the State Board of Education recently approved a Utah State Dyslexia Handbook, which I sat on the task force and helped draft.
Congratulations.
So we're very excited about
That's
that.
great.
Thank you. And PC Reads is going to ensure that every interventionist in our district has a printed copy in their hands as soon as those are available.
Resources
So.
and knowledge, so
It
very
is.
important. Awareness
Yes.
in the moment,
Yeah.
in
And-
the setting of school or
Right, and
with
the
families.
handbook will be helpful both to educators and to parents. And it also will help put them both kind of on the same page with the same information walking into meetings. You know, Bari Nan mentioned that there's been a lot of movement in the last year or so, and that's definitely true. And really what's happening is that the science behind teaching reading, which has been known for 50 plus years, is finally making its way into the classroom. So it's exciting. I know, it is. It's like a big breath of fresh air.
I'm
But there's
happy.
still more work to be done.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know,
and I will
Yeah.
come away from this conversation this morning knowing that we have on the front lines the very best, the very most passionate and most motivated, not only personally, but because of this sense of community. The last thing we need to do, I could chat all day, but the last thing we need to do is social media, online, where to contact you all and where to get more information
Yes.
to join the program.
We have a very full website. It's parkcityreads.org. You can also follow us on Facebook. You can reach out directly through the website to us as well. And we just also want to make sure that we give another thank you out to the Park City Community Foundation
Indeed.
for their Giving Together program, and remind everyone that Live PC, Give PC is coming up. And
Right around the corner.
right here, and please support the Community Foundation as well as PC Reads. Thank
Excellent.
you.
Stacey, Bari Nan, Elissa, so nice to see you all. Thank you for the work that you do. We're all better as a community for the work that you do in bringing the next generation of compassionate Parkites to full flower. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
here. Great to see you.
Very much.
Wow, that's good stuff. PC Reads, the Park City Community Foundation, thank you so very much for all that you do for our community. And of course, you know that here on the morning show, we're going to be talking a little bit about Live PC, Give PC from now going forward to the blessed day. Quick break. We'll be back with more after this. Please stay tuned.